So let's talk today about a question that I get asked quite a lot, and that is my story worth sharing? Your story matters. But sometimes when we get started on thinking about sharing our story, this voice comes into our heads that says, what do I know? I'm not good enough to share a story. Well, I'm here to tell you that you are, and that your story matters. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Nicola Kane from Moving Memories. I started this channel to help people with tips, ideas and inspiration on how to save your stories and the stories of your loved ones so that they don't get lost or forgotten. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of new videos. If you're not new, thanks for coming back. So why do we hesitate? Why are we afraid sometimes to share our stories? We think our story's not good enough, that it's boring, that it's not as good as someone else's. Well, the first thing I think we sometimes believe is that we're not educated enough, or we're not qualified enough, or we're not funny enough to share our stories. But I can assure you that your story matters. Your life experiences, your life lessons are all part of who you are, and that's what we need to pass on to future generations. They will get to learn about the places we were born, all the documented stuff, but they won't necessarily know what makes you tick, what makes you happy, what makes you sad, unless you share that story. It's a journey telling your story. By telling your story, you get to find what's really meaningful to you as well. You may get some surprises along the way. And by sharing that, you're actually giving other people permission to do the same, so they can feel confident to save their stories. You certainly don't need a qualification to share your story. The other thing to remember is that your journey is uniquely yours. As Dr. Seuss says, there is no one here who is youer than you. I think that was the saying. Anyway, your story is entirely your own. You might want to be a writer, your cousin might want to be a teacher, your sister might want to be an artist. Everybody has a different journey, and so it's a unique path that we're all on. Sure, there's always going to be another teacher or writer sharing their story, but they're not going to share it in the same way as you. They're not going to have the same experiences as you. They're not going to have the same life lessons as you that you're able to pass on and future generations can enjoy. Everything has been done before, but your journey is unique. There are millions of video producers out there, but my journey to becoming a video producer is different. My background was in training and documentation writing and communication work, so I had a lot of close contact with people, talking with people and hearing their stories. So it was a natural progression for me to start videoing life stories and business stories. And I think that's the case in a lot of our lives. We follow a path based on our experiences, and so sharing your experiences can help future generations to see that there are lots of ways and lots of paths our lives can take. As well as your own story, your grandparents and your parents also have stories worth sharing, and most of them won't have a digital footprint, I'd imagine. People born in the 1930s, 40s, 50s don't have a digital footprint to speak of. Our children and grandchildren now will have something on their phones and computers and iPads that will always be a record of their lives. Haphazard in some cases, so still needs collating and curating, but they will have a digital record, whereas your grandparents don't. So there is a bit of an urgency there for people in their 70s and 80s now to start documenting stories and putting together just one paragraph associated with one memory. Every couple of weeks, write something down, or sit with your grandparent or parent and get them to write something down, because their story matters. And once it's gone, it's gone. You're not going to have that recorded anywhere. So once they are no longer on this earth, you need to be the person to pass that on to next generations. And so recording it digitally now is really important. Remember that you have a unique view of the world, and so do your parents and grandparents. And being part of the COVID-19 pandemic has changed how we all view the world as well. So those sorts of things are worthwhile capturing. There may be things that you can learn, in fact, from your grandparents. They have been through pandemics in the 30s and 40s, And so they have a different view as well of how life has changed, or was changed for them then, and how life has changed for them perhaps now. So I think we're all much more careful about what we do with our time, who we spend our time with, and all those things are worth sharing and recording for future generations so that they understand what your values are and what you learned through the pandemic. I often think my story is quite ordinary. I haven't done anything amazing in my life, but then I get people saying to me, it's wonderful what you're doing, and they're referring to the saving of life stories that I do for people. I am very proud of that, and I know that my dad would be very proud of that too, he's the reason I started this in the first place. And he used to say, I'm no one special, I'm just an ordinary man. I remember him saying that when he was walking up the stairs to his 60th birthday party, and there were, I don't know, 100, 150 people in the room, and he was just overwhelmed that people thought he was that cool to come and spend an evening celebrating his 60th birthday. But he was, and there are many, obviously there are many people in life that are important to us. But we often ourselves don't recognise that. So sitting down and working through some of the key events in your life is a good place to start, to identify things that you want to share and pass on. As we share our stories, we inspire other people to do things differently. We might inspire other people to get help for the help that they need. We may even empower a whole movement of people to do something that they've been looking at doing and have never had the courage to do until they've heard the story of you doing it. So never think that your story is not worth sharing. Your story matters. Start small, but start now. Start with one photo, writing down some comments about how you felt when the photo was taken, where it was taken, who it was taken with, the date if you know it, and build it from there, and you'll soon have a great life story memoir video to record. You won't regret it, and you never know, you may inspire somebody and change somebody's life for the better. How cool would that be? So get out there, get your stories and the stories of your loved ones in the can. Everyone has a story. Don't let yours or theirs be forgotten. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Click the bell so that you get notified of future videos. I put up new videos every fortnight. And if you've got a topic you'd like me to cover, pop it in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.